Hi, it's going to be a follow-up to what I describe as my general models concepts for the three main three-dimensional structural forms that make up pretty much anything. The first one I did is the one that's most often the case, in that there's some sort of box structural box form object that you're looking down on. And in that case, the scenario would be like this. I can see the top because I'm looking down at the box. And I describe these three main lines, edges, the up and down, the back to the right, and the back to the left. And then I think of the ones that I group with each of those main lines, the up and down ones, the back and to the right, and then the back and to the left. And each set of lines will slightly be angling towards that main initial line. So these guys will be angling towards that. These will be angling slightly towards that. And these will be angling slightly towards that. So I'm just sort of continuing on this, in that certainly there will be times when we're looking up at something box-like. So that's what this situation will be, and it's going to be very similar, and that I'm still going to think of three main edges or lines. But in this case, we're going to be seeing the bottom of the box. This point is still home, what I'm going to call home base, because I'm going to keep coming back to that when I'm trying to build this out and I sort of get lost. I want to keep knowing this is my anchor point that I'm going to keep coming back to. So same idea. If I have this up and down, I'm going to team up these other lines that go with the up and down, and they're going to angle slightly towards that main one. The ones that go with this line will angle slightly towards it. These guys, and the ones the third one are the lines that will be grouped with this main edge, and they will do the same thing, slightly angling towards it. Now depending on how it's situated, how you're situated, how close you are, a lot of variables will come in, but this main idea still holds true. So that is going to be the scenario for when we're looking up at a box sort of shape. And I will say the other one I sort of did some shading. So let's imagine some shading for this one too. And I am going to shade in this bottom plane. I'm going to imagine that the light is coming from up here. up, yeah, okay, up here. And I might even play with this kind of a, to indicate that it's coming from up, left, and behind. So for the two sides that are away from the light source, I'm going to shade those in pretty equally. Just get a little bit, excuse me, just get a little bit of a tone into both of those. So they're kind of the same. And then I do want to make sure that I commit to one being more away from light than the other. Depending on the reflected light, this might not be the way, but the point is to make sure that there's three distinct values. There's one face that's clearly in the light and the lightest. There's one face that's clearly away from the light, but not as dark as the face that's all the way out of the light. So that will be that scenario. That's a quick, no-nonsense box and trying to understand the basics of that. And it's helpful to realize that the same concept that we were using for the other one still holds true. It's a floating box. Maybe I should put a some kind of implied shadow that it's casting. Or maybe not. But check that out, and I'm going to be doing a third one of the sort of the last kind of potential scenario. Okay. This is not a video and rendering. Okay, stop there.